Greetings. Let us continue with the part of solution towards numerical number 5. A concrete pile of diameter 450 mm and 10.5 meter length is driven in a sand deposit. Since it is a sand deposit, means cohesionless soil, that's why shear strength will be equals to 0. Angle of resistance is given to us is 30 degree. Gamma dry is equals to 16.5 kilonewton per meter cube. Gamma saturated is equals to 18.5 kilonewton per meter cube. Considering critical depth to be 15 times the diameter of the pile, if NQ equals to 35, K equals to 3.2, dou equals to 20 degree, calculate the safe load that the pile can carry if the water table is located at a depth of 2.5 meter from the ground level. Factor of safety is 2. In this statement, he has given a case where a pile of diameter 450 mm of length 10.5 meter has been driven into a sand deposit having the shear resistance equals to 0. It has the water table is located at a depth of 2.5 meter. That's why we have to consider both the parts here, unit weight as well as saturated weight. Additionally, he says that there is a critical depth he has mentioned. What's the significance of this critical depth? The critical depth shows the depth at which the frictional resistance of the pile is gets seized, especially in case of pile driven in a sandy soil. It is given as a 15 times the diameter of the pile. So if we work out the 15 times the diameter of the pile, it work out to be 15 into 0.45, 6.75. At a depth of 6.7, up to a depth of 6.75, the pressure distribution will remain linear and thereby it will become a constant. So it means that the frictional resistance will have a proportionately seized at level of 6.75, and thereby whatever the resistance will be there, it will be continued with reference to bearing resistance. Let us try to work out on the solution part. For that, we will find out some preliminary elements and then we will put into the formulation. Tan dou tan 20 degree is equals to 0.364. Gamma B bulk density equals to gamma sat minus gamma W. Gamma sat is given as 18.5 minus 9.81, that is the unit weight of the water. It gives gamma bulk equals to 8.69 kilonewton per meter cube. Well, if you talk about the bearing area of the pile, it's a circular in cross section. That's why area of the bearing will work out to be pi by 4 into d square, which equals to pi by 4 into 0.45 whole square, which comes out to be 0.16 mm square. So let's move towards the part of surcharge pressure calculation. The effective surcharge at the level of the bearing, it will be gamma B into L. Actually, it's a what we say combined stratum. Up to 2.5 meter depth, there is a after 2.5 meter depth there is a water table, and above that there is a dry state. So that's why it will be combined shear strength, and which will be linear up to a depth of 6.75, which we have worked here 6.75, and after that it will become constant. So we are going to work up for this pressure at this 6.75 meter level. So it can be worked out as a 2.5 into 16.5. It is a dry unit weight of the soil multiplied by 2.5, where it is free from water table, and after that I am going to use gamma bulk, which is include the saturated state of the soil 8.69 multiplied by 4.25, remaining depth from 6.75, because beyond this the pressure is going to remain constant. So we are going to measure at a level of 6.75 what is the net amount of pressure here. It comes to be 17.37 kilonewton per meter cube. Since the soil stratification is given to us, the ultimate load carrying capacity of a pile will be calculated by a relation Q naught dash NQ into AB. Effective surcharge multiplied by the coefficient related to the surcharge multiplied by the area under bearing plus summative effect of both the soil strata Q naught dash bar KS bar tan dou into AS. Now if we find out AS is nothing but the surface area which is in contact with the soil. So here we are having two types of the two depths of the soil under consideration. One where there is a complete seizing of the linear distribution of the stresses and they're constant. So we'll divide into two heads here, up to 6.75 meter depth and remaining 3.75. So it will be AS1 equals to pi into D into L, which equals to pi into 0.45 into 6.75. It worked out to be 9.54 meters square for the first half where the linear distribution was there. AS2 is equals to pi into D into L, which equals to pi into 0.45 into 3.75. The remaining depth, which equals to 5.30 mm square. I will substitute these values individually here in this equation. So QU is equals to 77.37, that is a Q naught dash, multiply by 35, this one is a NQ value given to us, multiply by 0.16, this is the area under bearing we have calculated, plus Q naught dash bar, it's simply half of the Q naught dash. So if I take here half of this 77.37, why? Because at top it is 0 and linearly distributed at the level of 6.75, it will be 77. If I take average value 0 plus 77.37 divided by 2, it work out to be 38.68, multiply by 3.2, this is the value of Ks bar, multiply by 0.36, that is a tan dou value which we have calculated, multiply by AS1 the area, the surface area up to linear distribution of the pressure. So it is 9.54 plus 77.37. Now here it's being constant up for a depth of 3 remaining depth. So it is 77.37 multiplied by 3.2 the Ks multiplied by 0.36, that we have got from tan dou 0.64. Actually it's 0.364 multiplied by 5.30. 5.30 is nothing but AS2. If I do the product of this all substituted value, it work out to be 1335.48 kilonewton. So ultimate load carrying capacity of the pipe under the critical depth and under the influence of the water, it work out to be 1335.48 kilonewton. But what is asked to us? Safe load carrying capacity. So safe load carrying capacity will be equals to QU divided by FOS, which equals to 1335.48 divided by 2. Factor of safety given to us is 2. That's why the safe load carrying capacity of the pile is equals to 669.17 kilonewton. Let us move towards the numerical number 6. Actually heading is to be changed here. It's appear in numerical number 5 again. It's numerical number 6. The statement is a 12 meter long and 300 mm diameter concrete pile is driven in uniform sand deposit. The water table is very much deep and angle of resistance is equals to 45 degree. Gamma is equals to 18 kilonewton per meter cube. NQ value is 137. K is equals to 2. Calculate the safe load that the pile can carry if the critical depth of the depth to be 15 times the diameter of the pile. Factor of safety equals to 2. In this case, what happens? The water table is said to be very much deep, means there will be no effect of water table on the shear strength of your soil. So here the up to the critical depth, that is 15 times the diameter, the pressure distribution will be linear and after that it will become constant. If we calculate the depth here, 15 times of D equals to 15 times of 0.3, 4.5 meter. Up to a depth of 4.5 meter, there is a linear distribution and below that there is a constant distribution of the shear strength. Okay, so the strength carrying capacity of that particular soil. So here we require dou equals to, for concrete pile it is mentioned that it should be 0.3 by 4 times of angle of resistance. So 0.75 times of angle of resistance, 0.75 times of 45, it work out to be 33.75 degree. Tan dou is equals to tan 33.75 degree, which comes work out to 0.668. Q naught dash is equals to gamma B into L. Since only the water table effect is not that, that's why the throughout I will assume the same unit weight of the soil. So 18 multiplied by 4.5. So I am going to take a linear distribution up to this. 18 multiplied by 0.45, it comes to be 81. Thereafter it becomes constant. So here after the depth 4.5, it will not increase, it will remain constant up to the depth 7.5 meter. So that's why QU is equals to Q naught dash NQ into AB plus summation of Q naught dash bar KS bar tan of dou into AS. So here AB area under the bearing, since it's circular pile, it will be pi by 4 into D square, pi by 4 into 0.3 square, which work out to 0.0706 mm square. Now AS1, if you calculate AS1 pi into D into L, AS1 is the surface area up to the linear distribution, the depth, critical depth we can say, which equals to pi into 0.3 into 4.5, the critical depth, it can work out to 4.241 mm square. AS2 is equals to pi into D into L, which equals to pi into 0.3 into 7.5, the depth below the linear distribution where the strength remains constant, which equals to 7.068. So QU, ultimate load carrying capacity of the pile, will be equals to 81 into 137 multiplied by 0.0706. It's nothing but substitution of individual values. This one is Q naught dash, this one is NQ, this one is the area under bearing, plus I have to take summative effect here. That's why I will take average value here. The average of this will be 0 plus 81 divided by 2. It work out to 40.5 into 2 into 0.668. This is tan dow value. Multiply by 4.241, this is AS1, plus 81 into 2 plus 0.668 multiply by 7.068, it work out to 1774.53 kilonewton. But we are interested to know what is the safe load carrying capacity of the pile, which we can find out QU divided by FOS. FOS is given as 2, that's why the value work out to be 591.51 kilonewton. Now let us move towards the next topic related to the dynamic formula. As we have stated, there are various methods to estimate the load carrying capacity of the pipe. This type of formulation is generally adopted in case of driven pipes. So this method is based on the assumption that dynamic resistance to the drive the pile is equal to the ultimate load carrying capacity of the pile using static method. Means whatever the dynamic resistance will be getting required for the driving pile into the ground will be equal to its static capacity, as we have estimated in the earlier cases. In this method, kinetic energy or potential energy of a hammer is equated to the work done by the pile when it penetrates through the soil plus the losses, if any. Means here we are going to make a balance between the kinetic energy imparted by the hammer to the work done by the pile while driving into the ground. When a hammer hits the pile, the total driving energy is equal to the weight of the hammer times the height of the drop or a stroke. Let us consider here, this is a pile which has been driven into the ground with the help of this hammer. So here the hammer will be struck on the pile head under a free fall height. So here what will happen? There will be a potential energy which is going to impart. If I am going to use here a mechanical machine or something, then there will be a chances of the kinetic energy to be developed here for repetitive hammerings over the pile. So what will happen? This pile will get driven systematically into the ground. So there will be a certain, suppose initially it was above the ground, it's of full length. When a hammer is struck, it goes penetrate into the ground, and there is a certain settlement and certain compression of the elastic compression of the soil. So this will be stored as a delta. So what will happen here? Potential energy, if we consider here the total load which is acting on the pile is nothing but the potential energy which is imparted on the pile head, which can be said mgh. If I want to equate this with the work done by the pile, then it will be the pile capacity multiplied by the displacement which is being observed by that. So if I write this one in equation, mg into h, which we can say mg is nothing but the total weight of the hammer, into the height, free fall height, is equals to QUP. It is nothing but the capacity of the pile estimated from the static method multiplied by S plus C. S is nothing but the settlement observed under the application of the load, plus C is the elastic compression which is being supported by the soil. This will be total penetration. I can say it's the delta. So P into delta is equals to W into H. We can say it is being equation where we say external work done is equals to the internal work done. Now if we rewrite this equation, QUP is equals to W into H divided by S plus C. Okay, where W is the weight of the hammer, H is the height of the free fall, S is the settlement or penetration per below of the hammer, and C is the constant for elastic compression. So based on this, number of empirical formulas has been proposed. That empirical formulas we will discuss in the upcoming videos. Till then, stay at home, be safe and be healthy. Thank you.